Oh, yeah. Thank you, Bad Mary, for that too sweet playing. And welcome all you four-color funny book aficionados. This is U.S. Comics Cast HQ for all things comic book related. I am John Rivera, the salty CEO and co-founder of U.S. Comics.
And that, of course, leaves only one position worthy of the excellence, worthy of the salt of the earth, Charlie Rivera, and that is COO, other co-founder, other co-host, and dare I say, the most gifted of podcast producers, my dear brother.
Dear brother.
Happy Comic Book Day, sir.
Happy Comic Book Day and happy Dune Eve to you as well. But I've got to start this show by asking the question that is burning in all of our listeners and viewers' minds.
Ooh.
What's that third O in your title, bro? I know COOs, but I'm not familiar with the COO. Is that like you're the chief face?
Yeah, it's my vinegar strokes is what happened. Was
Fair enough.
Came down to the wire on prep because someone introduced the puppy.
Is good enough for fucking Mel Brooks, the king god of comedy, then he's fucking good enough for you.
If you told me, like in the middle of the pandemic, still ongoing, at the height of your favorite COOs, depression, that there would be an announcement to come across my Twitter feed that's like History of the World Part 2 in production. I quite frankly, I thought I was having a stroke.
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't have read this right.
And as someone who has had not just one, but several strokes, I can tell you, it did feel exactly like that. Like, for some reason, I was just laughing like, oh, the Inquisition, that is fucking hilarious.
It's
good to be the king.
It is. Unfortunately, all the news that come across my glorious office here in the fortress, as it were, has not been great. Because I have to ask you, my friend, did you check out all 71 hours of DC FanDome?
So DC FanDome both began and wrapped up this past Saturday. And when I say Saturday, I literally mean Saturday. The entire day of Saturday was entirely filled with fucking Detective Comics FanDome. It was the only thing that I could it was akin to was on Christmas, when Christmas Story just runs on a 24-hour loop on TBS. That was as close to, though nowhere near as enjoyable, as DC FanDome.
I gotta tell you, right?
You don't gotta tell me. You'd like to tell me. I'd like to hear it.
I would love to tell you. In fact,
sure, rightfully so.
I feel like a real
dummy.
Schmuck.
I was close.
I do. Only
like a
worse.
Dummy, but in Yiddish. Fair
exactly.
Enough.
Because I, on this podcast, was so excited about FanDome just last year. Like so many.
That was you, by the way.
Like so many series.
I'm the CEO. Oh.
You have the first installment and you go, hot damn. Yeah. I'm the more is more host of the show. I love follow-ups. I love sequels.
Salty John has joined us for today's episode, so you need to get used to that shit.
Sir, I could not believe how little substance. If I was in charge at DC, and let's be honest, DC, I should be, though.
I mean, you're not even in charge of U.S. Comics. Now you want to be in charge of DC Comics?
Honestly, I feel like running DC wouldn't be as complicated. I feel like that's the easier job. Last year's FanDome was this like epic online event. It felt like a real virtual Comic-Con, something no one else has been able to even come close to replicating. They made me feel like I was on the main stage enjoying this feast, this virtual world. The thing that sucks about it in the pandemic era is that it's hard for people to travel. You don't want people to get sick. This takes that all away. Last year, they had poor Kev Smith running around like a psychopath. He's all lean and mean now.
Kevin Smith is not poor.
Touche.
And he doesn't really run so much as he hikes. He does that shit every day, up and down the Hollywood Hills. Well, more power to you, son.
Last year they had him hiking and keeping shit flowing because even when stuff wasn't working well, he was able to navigate it. This was the biggest showcase of stuff that is in vague production I've ever experienced.
Well, you need to take your proverbial foot off the gas a little bit.
I shall not.
I had as underwhelming of a reaction as apparently you did, but let's not bore the crowd with the superlatives. Let's take it relatively quickly, beat by beat. So we'll play a little tennis with it. Aquaman, King of Atlantis. First reaction.
I mean, if you liked the first Aquaman,
which you did or did not.
I was indifferent to it. I didn't regret seeing it, but I don't ever need to watch Aquaman again. Okay. It was cool to see Black Manta in a slightly cooler version of the suit. I love Black Manta.
Explicably love Black Manta. You're the guy.
I just love
when
big helmets.
KB toy stores will get their fucking shipment of all the DC figures, they'd be like, oh, Black Manta, Black Manta, Black Manta, one Hawkman. Charlie's like, fuck that Hawkman. I will take 2 of the Black Mantas, please and thank you.
Yeah, I need
one to open to play with and one to hang up on the wall.
Gotta keep it
stick pins through the cardboard, effectively rendering it worthless. I mean, Black Panther figures are pretty worthless anyway. But that being said, actually, that's not true because the original Superpowers figures, the Black Manta, when it eventually came out, is very sought after. So I apologize for the first and last time.
That was a roller coaster, more epic than anything happened during this presentation. They showed some bullshit pieces of art. They're like, huh? He wears the black suit that you don't remember from the 70s. Aquaman does.
Well, why not?
Because stealth suit.
They were like, oh no, yeah, the Snyderverse is dead. Fuck Snyder. And that's one of the few things that DC has said that I really agreed with recently. Yeah. But they're like, yeah, no more Snyderverse, no more Snyderverse. One of the things that DC, that the Snyder famously did was Superman in the black suit, huh? And we're all like, it's kind of stupid. This doesn't really make sense. They fucking tripped over themselves jumping into the water to slap a black suit on poor Momoa, who didn't fucking ask for it.
Yeah. So now to again, whatever.
That's my review.
One thing I will kick back to you in this nice little tennis match. I thought all the video game stuff was fine. But for DC FanDome, I'm not saying the ideas of the game, because I'm gonna play both of them.
So the games that you're referring to are obviously Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, because that's the best way to haul in all of your naysaying crabby ass fans. We know that everybody loves the bad guys and hates the good guys. So here's a fucking video game where the quasi now anti-heroes, because that's the best thing to be in this world, is an anti-hero. Fucking dicks. Kills the Justice League, who is the good guys.
But wait, John, wait. They ask a very important question that's never been asked before, and that's, what if Superman was a bad guy? What if Superman was naughty?
I've got a question for you people. What if you read a comic book?
You illiterate sacks of shit. I will say, though,
there's pictures. They don't even need to be literate.
And the other game is Batman's vague associates. The Bat family take over Batman mechanics. But I will say this.
Despite this new video game, not Batman.
Despite the fact that probably everything we're talking about, I'm going to see stupid Aquaman 2. I'm going to play these stupid games. With that being said, I think I think the nonsense of, okay, we're going to show you video game trailers. Well, they're video games. If this is supposed to be a con presentation, why not show me the mechanics? Do they all
like
play different? You have like
you
12
mean like
characters there.
gameplay? And what's funny is that, and I can't really speak to the Suicide Squad versus Kills the Justice League. But I do know that the fucking not Batman game is built on the Arkham engine, right?
It's
And
all
so
but
the
a sequel.
mechanic.
Yeah.
So we know, regardless of what you think about the storylines or the non-canonical approach, it plays fucking great. It
Yeah.
plays great. And being able to change all the skins and have like the goofy rainbow color Batman or like whatever the fuck. Just kidding. Don't cancel me. That's an actual thing. There is a rainbow Batman. So being able to have that certain level of customization is great and all that jazz.
It's fun.
But I agree with you. Gameplay. Now, I will say this: sometimes they can whip up a like a cinematography trailer,
A cinematic trailer, yeah.
cinematic trailer way before gameplay is
Totally.
showable. But I also agree with you. If you're to the point where you're ready to start promoting this game or either one of the games, then gameplay.
Well,
is kind
I
of a
think
must.
one of my big thoughts across all of FanDome, but with the video games, it's a con. This is supposed to be for the hardcores, right? So the gimmick about that is you, at least for me as a member of that hardcore audience, you could have gotten away with showing me literally any behind the scenes shit for the video games. If you had motion capture, show me some sizzle. I'm a behind the scenes guy. My DVDs back in the day, some of the most playthrough they got was watching making of. You had this opportunity and all the hours in the world.
Well,
show me
that's
something
where you get
interesting.
that's where you get ownership of the property, is knowing the inner nooks and crannies of a thing, so that you can show off in the nerdiest way possible. Like, for this particular scene, they dropped the Corvette fucking engine and blah 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 blah. But when you say, I do have to take a little umbrage with that comment. Is it for the hardcore fans in so much as that your hardcore fans are going to show up? Absolutely. But the hardcore fans showed up to cons when they were in hotel ballrooms. And I'm talking about like barely hotel, closer to motel level, open fucking spaces. Charlie, it wasn't just hardcore fans. Did you know that this year's DC FanDome, which is goofiest fucking thing ever. I kept on waiting for Tina Turner to fucking show up and start the goddamn fight. FanDome.
It would be evil Superman versus someone.
Anyone who did not fucking appreciate my Mad Max little nod in the episode introduction, go fuck yourself. But yeah, it wasn't just casual, or rather, it wasn't just hardcore fans, Charlie. It was casual fans too. Do you know what the viewership was this year? Take a wild guess. I'll actually let me say this. Last year, which obviously was COVID inspired, last year
sounds like some of their movies.
They had approximately 22 million people tuned in for FanDome last year. So
total, or the day of?
Or total viewership. So that,
I think
you're going to include some people that watched it more than once, of course. I'm talking about like views, the same way that they tell how shitty this show is.
I think 1 million is all they got this year so far.
You think they went from 22 million last year to 1 million views this year?
I do.
Charlie, would you be surprised to hear that they actually got 66 million views?
They got 66 million and they didn't have a schedule?
They got 3 times as many dum-dums, fans, to sit and watch as opposed to last year. Now, again, stats, the math of it all is not my particular forte, as my report card from high school would back me up. But, Charlie, it was a raging hard-on of a success.
Listen, this is why
it was a little blue pill level hard-on of a success.
This is probably why we're not successful, because I assumed less people tuned in because they never published a schedule. Last year, I knew when I was getting trailers and shit, and this year they kept being like, "Huh? Just wait, Bobby Pattinson's coming."
But
Good old Bobby Pat.
here's
Eventually,
the other thing, because as I sat there watching, and I don't want people to get the wrong impression. This is not a sit down beat 'em up of DC, of Detective Comics. But I sincerely sat there like
I was so goddamn bored.
I was just waiting. I'm like, something good's gonna come, right? Something good's gonna come. Now, if someone had said, "Here's the lineup," I would have
Like,
known.
oh, this sucks.
Like nothing's good. Nothing good is particularly coming.
2 trailers and one's a teaser. Great.
Or the fact that like the stuff that I had the most interest in, I have already been fucking beaten about the head and neck with before now. So again, just
How do you not
do
bust
know,
out
against the clock?
Keaton?
So well, here's the thing, but you did get Keaton. You got Keaton's back of his head.
No, I mean, like,
fast
if this
forward.
was a con, it would have,
Right.
like, for me, the easy money, and not to
Oh, you
skip
mean-
too much, not to skip
Yeah,
too much,
but-
the most charismatic fucker on earth, Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
Yeah.
made me hyped about a character I've never given a fuck about, right? Imagine if they just did again, no one's fucking paying me to be on Kevin Smith's dick, but you get Kevin
you
Smith
are.
to do a virtual sit down with the past of DC movies, Michael Keaton, and the presumed future, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You
But
don't want to hear them chit chat for 20 minutes?
But they weren't. Obviously, they weren't. It wasn't like panels.
But it should have been.
So we got, but that's a con, right? In no place other than our brains was DC saying, "Here's a convention, a
Last
digital
year,
convention."
it was billed as a digital convention.
Not this fucking year.
Well,
Not
they
this
shouldn't
year.
call it this bullshit fandom.
What they should have billed it as is the longest, most boring commercial that you have ever had that you have ever had the misjudgment to sit through. So once again, so you obviously were referring Flash, where we actually did get
Did
a
get a
glimpse
teaser
of
at least.
We're assuming it was fucking Michael Keaton's because the back of the head looked pretty Michael.
He definitely did the voiceover. That was cool.
Yeah, voiceover is really great. But
salty.
Flash, I'm pretty excited to see the Flash.
This made me less excited.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not particularly excited because of Ezra Miller's interpretation of the character. Because anyone who's like, Snyderverse is dead.
It's all over the place.
No, it's not. It has just been significantly added to. So now you also have the John Peters verse is also in there, and you've got the fucking Goofy CW TV verses around, and you've got Super Pets verse and all this stuff. So it's not dead because clearly what Flash is doing the same thing as what Spider-Man and Doctor Strange / every fucking Scarlet Witch and every goddamn body else they're doing over there in Marvel is they're opening up the multiverse. Fine, that's all well and good. So what that really means, and this is the most comic book shit of all time, is that dead doesn't mean dead anymore.
Yeah.
Saying goodbye to a character or a particular version or variation, those are two words that mean the same thing. Is no longer applicable, right? So again, just to bury the lead a little bit, because we do want to move on. So the Flash teaser, because they've been making that movie fucking forever for the fastest man in their fucking universe. He's got the slowest goddamn movie. So the Flash was just a teaser, but in that teaser we see a lot. We saw stately Wayne Manor. We saw not one but two Ezra Miller Flashes, who's also been seen on the TV show Flash, the No Nick McGillicuddy show, and we also saw Latina Supergirl.
Oh, baby,
fine, all well and good.
Sign me up.
However,
I'm going twice just for her.
Charlie, what's the end goal of a trailer?
To make you excited to see it.
No, I would disagree with you.
All right.
To convince a person, it is an advertisement. It is a fucking pitch. Go see this movie, which is why the fucking the shit on trailers is often you showed me all the good shit in the movie. In this
that's its job.
30-second It's not really its job. Its job is to get people to buy tickets to go see that movie. But we've had this conversation before. Very, very rarely, if ever, are the people who made the movie the same people who make the trailer. So the people who make the trailer are like, yeah, fucking give me all the best shit, and I've done my job. So now the dum-dums like us who have bought a ticket, and
There
we sit
must
down
be
and we're like,
more.
all we're sitting down is to watch the fillers between the highlights of the trailer that we saw. Now that being said, a teaser trailer is just that. It's a
Yeah,
little.
it's a little
It's a
taste.
little. It gives you Underfather a little bit of something else.
It's the underboob
So
of cinema.
and how so. That wasn't even what they were doing. They were like, haha, a real trailer is coming, and then deadpanned, dead-eyed, like a fucking great white coming out of the water. Ezra Miller's like, man, we're not done. We're not ready. Shut up. Just shut up. If you, not even you are excited about your fucking movie that you signed up for and you got paid millions of dollars for, why should I be? Anyways, I think we spent more than enough time. There was one thing, though, that I was very excited about, just to change the direction of this review.
Yeah.
Batman ... Caped Crusader. Also known as Batman the Animated Series Part 2 Gotham
Electric
City Boogaloo. No,
What I'm
don't try to jump at my joke, you son of a bitch.
My bad. What I
I'm
love
super fucking excited about it. The creative team, the people who are involved, the platform. Zip it up, Jen. Don't you jump in here trying to yell at me. Go yell at the Sarge, dadgummit. But look, it's the creative team, it's the people who were involved. It is the fact that a cartoon that as an adult I have no shame in my game in admitting I fucking loved. Some of the best contributions to the Batman world came from Batman the Animated Series. Goddamn
Absolutely.
Harley Quinn came from Batman the Animated Series. The amazing origin stories of Mr. Freeze came from Batman the Animated Series. So when these motherfuckers come by and say, you know that cartoon that everybody universally loves? Yeah, this is gonna be better because we're gonna get all of that.
Yeah,
and
but
we're gonna
for
take the
adults.
shackles. I mean, the original series was for adults.
That's
You know,
true.
if you ask me, it's just the platform that they had to show it on. They couldn't do certain things. Language is an issue. Playtime was an issue. They basically took all of the.
Now
they
you get to
took
see
all of those.
Batman say fuck.
Like anyone who has never had steroids or crack, they would say it's like Batman on steroids or crack.
Sometimes at
think.
the same time. That's how he stays thin.
As far as I know.
Now, are you at all a little sad that it's a different continuity? Or are you just like, no, good. Let
I don't
them
give a fuck.
them not be weighed down by. I didn't give a.
apologize. Hold on
I
a
didn't
second.
care.
Because I'm still very sick and salty. So things when you get salty at this level, it gets caked up in your ear holes. Am I a little sad that the what is not consistent?
The continuity.
The continuity, is that like an annuity
Are
at the
you-
bank? Is that
Are you stumbling, fumbling, son of a bitch?
continuity?
Trying to what are you trying to say?
There's no such thing as continuity, Charlie. There's no such thing as canon. There's no fucking such thing as, oh, I'm familiar with this or that in the past. No, there's only the fucking moment. In the comic book world, there's only what you're looking at right
We're
fucking now.
always in the second act, never the third.
And,
I gotcha.
and look, whether you like it or not, that's just how it is right now.
That's true. That's true. I do think Paul from YouTube accidentally made a wonderful point. They probably should have just called it Batman the Animated Series Unshackled. I think
Paul,
that's a little better than like Dark Evil Detective Boy.
That has a little bit of a Skinamax soft porn vibe to it, and God knows
Hey,
Batman
you said
has been enough pornographic things recently.
There was no shackles. I fully expect Bruce to finally treat sweet Catwoman the way she deserves.
Well, but you know what, though? I take it back because the ongoing Harley Quinn animated series is also fire.
Shackle-free.
there's no shackles or panties apparently, because
and Harley
we have
goes
been
down on
promised
Ivy all the time.
Harley is willing to do what the Batman's not allowed to do to Catwoman. We have been promised they are going to further a deeper dive, as it will, into the bushes. Because Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are gonna get it on, son.
Oh man, so many nerds are gonna be locked in their room watching those episodes.
Cinemax would be would blush at what Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are about to do. But let me ask you this, because I have a strong opinion about it, and we're obviously over time already. Peacemaker
looks great.
Yeah,
it looks great. So? I'm personally. I mean, the man hugged a bald eagle. I'm all in. I'm all in, as it were.
I'll say this: the bald eagle was the only likable part about that trailer to me. Now, I will preface it by saying I did not go into the Suicide Squad, because we have to differentiate from the other fucking movie
Suicide Squad
that it was not the sequel to, but didn't exist. Whatever. I went in not being a John Cena fan. I couldn't even see him. Right. I came out of the movie as like, you know what? I'm gonna eat a little bit of crow here, because not only did I thoroughly like the character of Peacemaker, which I wasn't particularly educated as to, I came out saying I liked the Peacemaker. I really liked John Cena's performance here, and you're telling me that there's now gonna be an ongoing series. Got a little, got the stinger at the end there. Cool. I'm all in. I'm excited. And boy, did I feel sheepish after I saw that fucking trailer. It looked like you like Fruity Pebbles, right? Love them Fruity Pebbles.
Fruit circles.
I want some Fruity Pebbles. And she comes home from Saturday grocery shopping, and she's got Yum Yum Rocks. Yum Yum Rocks. What the fuck is this, Ma? That's not what I asked for. You catch one across the face for cussing, but that's not the point. It was like a cheap, tasteless imitation, dude. It was John Cena, and it was a lot of the backing actors from the movie, part of the group, the Suicide Squad team, the man in the van, as Charlie likes to call him. But did that not ring as its own cheap knockoff? It was Aladdin 2, straight to fucking straight to videotape. It was.
I suspect that James Gunn was in charge of that trailer and didn't want to give anything away.
Yeah, like any jokes, or he didn't want to give away any good performances, or like, you know. Yeah, it looked bad.
Very similar to the original.
I could be wrong, but
the original Guardians 2 trailer was very similar, and the movie wound up being a lot.
Let me ask you this, and this is something that I was not really familiar with going in. Nubia and the Amazons. I didn't know what the hell that even was about.
Oh yeah, that was a real nice surprise, and I thought that's how you kind of build intrigue. I thought that little, not even teaser, the stinger, was kind of interesting. It had me at least being like, what the fuck is that?
All right. I was neutral. I'm like, I don't really know much about it, but the jury's still out. Shazam, Fury of the Gods, that was a big one.
I mean, again, The Rock is such a charming motherfucker. I would have done an hour of him just.
Anybody who has ever tried to access anything electronic of Charlie's knows that Charlie is all in on The Rock.
The fact of the matter.
What did you think? Just bottom line, what did you think about the trailer? Period.
Fuck yes, man. I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in. It feels, the one thing I will say was it feels so night and day from anything Shazam. That I'm like, these two can never meet, because these are not in the same genre.
Aside from the fact that it's literally Shazam's costume, just in black and gold.
I just meant the tone of that teaser.
Oh, because he murdered somebody in the first 92 seconds.
Yes,
that's fair. That's fair.
And
usually
visually,
a
it just
child
looks so different.
Who becomes magically a superhero is the first thing he does is not. He's like, "Who tee I'm gonna charge your phone," and fucking Black Adam's like, "I'm gonna murder you."
Well,
and your family can't even have an open casket. He did that motherfucker dirty like the mob does. when somebody rats, they shoot you through the face so your mother can't have an open casket at the funeral.
More than anything else, my main thought was like, I don't want Black Adam to kill poor stupid Shazam.
Yeah. You know what's funny to me? It looked like you remember the gargoyle bit from the first Shazam movie where the statues came to life like little claymations. It looked like somebody threw a fabric cape over one of those motherfuckers, and that's what lifted off into the air. Rocky is so big at this point, like he has to be approaching that point of like Jack Dieselness where he can't like even reach down to wipe his own ass.
He has a
and
person
luckily
for that.
He's rich enough. Yeah, he's got a fucking butt doo-doo that guy. He's like, oh, it's gonna be protein was hitting on today. It's gonna be a fucking mess back there. I'll hit you off with a little tip. Yeah, even that I'm a fan of the Black Adam character. If there's gonna be an anti-hero floating around, it's gonna be a Black Adam. It's gonna be a Namor, the Submariner. Those are actual Punisher. Those are actual true anti-heroes. Not like, oh, this person's Breaking Bad, now they're an anti-hero. No. Like fucking Daredevil is not an anti-hero.
He's just
Daredevil is a hero.
Yeah.
He's a blind motherfucker. That's what he is.
He just loves the pink.
I gotta tell you, I was somewhat nonplussed with that trailer, but I will say this teaser regardless. I mean, it played like the first 2-3 minutes of the movie because that's really
that
what
poor
they
bitch
did
that said Shazam. No way she saw that coming.
Dude, the second like those people came in with all the more pouches and
I was like, yo, this Laura Croft
hanging
movie
off of
looks
them.
fucked.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be just fine. Oh, you got big guns. That's really cool. Did you see the lightning? If you're rolling up on somebody, this is my message to all my armed force brothers and sisters out there.
Sorry, Dwayne.
If you roll up on a situation and you're geared to the nines, and then somebody puts a person wearing a cape in front of you, take your gun, put it down on the ground, put your hands on your head, turn around, and start walking home. It's not going to be good for you.
Yeah, that's always true. Again, there was
we forgot. We left stuff off.
There was
Supergirl is wrapping up.
Supergirl,
Batman, and Lois,
Batgirl
back for another.
Batgirl. We got some pictures from. We got we saw the artist rendering of Jaime Reyes's version of Blue Beetle. One thing I loved about that art is we saw that the cord building behind it looked cool, but it was
I get texts from Charlie all the time. Hey, draw me this, draw me that.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see because the fucking art and the finished product don't always match up. Did you notice that Black Adam has like all has all like Sumerian writing on his fucking thing? I'm like,
fucking cool.
Can we get the US Comics lawyers on the phone real quick? Real quick, thanks, love. We got a fucking phone call to make. Sweet Tooth, that I was definitely up for because I love me some Sweet Tooth. But Teen Titans Go, I forget about it. Like I'm not interested. Titans can go right with them. Whatever. Like I was somewhat interested when they were talking about
felt the way that you just described.
Wonder Woman 3 was definitely going to happen. We were definitely getting more than
eventually.
But that I was somewhat like, I'm like, oh well, now here's your Thor moment. Like you get to redeem an underwhelming to be a kind second movie with a banger of a third one. So they've got all the parts, they've got all the makings of it, but let's see if they do it. I hope so. Star Girl doesn't really anything for me. The fucking
it's cute. It's
Doom Patrol. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I understand.
Excited that they're telling their
ripped
story.
you off, but like, I know X-Men fucking ripped you off and you came first, but like, sometimes the second one at the bat gets better pitches to hit.
I appreciate that show without having strong opinions about it.
Yeah. Anyways,
the main event. We'll talk more in a little bit. But obviously everything led up to the Batman. And I got strong enough opinions that I want to dive a little bit deeper.
Right.
Great.
Um,
The trailer was beautifully put together.
because
Do I think it was worth the 9-hour wait? Nah. Bobby Pattinson could have showed up at my house with a cowl, and I still would have been like, "The fuck took you so long, man?"
Charlie says that he would, if Sir Robert Pattinson showed up at his door, what he would say to him would be, "What the fuck took you so long, man?"
Yeah.
And Charlie says that to you, my beautiful and talented and loyal viewers and listeners, straight faced, like a bald faced liar. And you know who else was a bearded liar?
Who that?
George damn Lucas. You lying motherfucker, because everybody who knows one thing first. Han shot first. Cheers.
Clinky.
Salute.
Oh, that was terrible.
Charlie, do me a favor.
Yes,
37
sir.
minutes in and 2 seconds.
In a row.
Start my clock.
Boom. Let's do this thing.
I gotta tell you, bro, when you got saltiness in your mouth, those shots, the Han shot first,
First.
also as well as
Also,
it
he
really
shot first.
it really hits nice. It's nice. If
Full of
anyone
tequila.
couldn't tell, I'm coming to the table salty. I'm salty like a goddamn beached fucking whale on day 3. That level of salty, dude.
That's a lot of salt, man. What's up? What's wrong?
What's wrong? Is that like actually a real question?
What's the fuss?
Charlie,
Tell me what's happening?
How do you lose 92% of comic book fans? Reference some musical theater, folks. Charlie Rivera, ladies and gentlemen, the COO of US Comics.
Leave the last off for savings.
You blew it. You blew it. Drink up. I'll try to save this. All right.
Tequila.
I am salty. Salty. I'm salty for multiple reasons, but on top of my salt list is that I am tired of witnessing injustice.
The video game?
Yeah, to a certain degree, yes, but that's a different topic. I am tired. I don't like. It's a relatively short list. I'm a pretty easygoing fucking guy, right? I don't like. I'm right. I don't like bullies.
That's true, despite sometimes being one.
Shut the fuck up or I'll smack you in the mouth. I don't. And I don't like when people try to play me like I'm stupid.
That is a pet peeve of yours.
Who the fuck do you think? And rudeness. Those 3 things, those are pretty much it. I also have a real problem when people are walking down the street and they're having a full-on conversation with someone else on speakerphone.
What was
You're in public. You're on the bus. You're on the LIRR. Why are you talking to somebody on speakerphone? And not only that, you're yelling so that they can hear you. You know what would help that? Dipshit McGillicuddy. Take the person off of the speaker, hold the phone to your face, and say, "Oh, sorry about that, Uncle Jerk. Now I can hear you better." Anyways, but that's
I blame the old chirp phones. What up? Fuck off.
Ugh. Anyways, but that's like those are my top 3 and 3B, right? But I'm so sick of seeing the injustice and when people like playing the general public, myself included, like chumps. Because Charlie, that's exactly what they're doing. So, I know not everyone is completely familiar with the gem, the gift from Neil Gaiman that is American Gods, because the series starring friend Ashley Reyes to the show. Was tragically cut short. Fingers crossed that it'll get new life elsewhere. But um, not everybody got to see the completion of that story. But if you have the smarts to have listened to me and friend Jordan, because he handed me the book originally, you would have read it and you would have known how that story wraps up. Again, if anybody just has a general familiarity, they know it's basically the old gods versus the new gods. And Charlie, obviously, we know that the old gods we're talking about. We're talking about fucking Odin and Loki and Balder and all those fucking, all those great ones, the Anasi and all of them. Charlie, do you remember some of the new gods that they had to knuckle up against?
Those technology and all
those beautiful son of a bitches. Right? Sure. The big bad of the new gods, there was, again, technology. There was like TV and there was the banking and there was this, that, and the other thing. But Mr. World was the big bad. And, no spoilers here, but Mr. World wasn't really necessarily all he made himself out to be. But I would say, in a very rare case of maybe I know a little better, if Neil Gaiman came to my front door, I wouldn't pull a Charlie with Robert Pattinson and be like, "What the fuck took you so long?" I'd say, "Oh, sir, thank you so much for coming. Can I get you coffee or water?" That being said, tea, because you're British. You know what I think, though? I think I could have improved your magnum opus with one little thing. I would have made the ultimate big bad in American Gods media. Media is the fucking worst. And I'm talking about all media. And yes, I understand that someone looking at this goofy program can say, "Well, God, you guys are medium." Yeah, I know we're also the worst, but we're not the worst of the worst, because I'm talking about a big mainstream media. I am certainly talking about social media. They, us, we, whatever, are the fucking worst. Because no matter what Charlie may lie about, no matter what George Lucas may lie about, ultimately, media is the biggest liar. Here, give me another try. Media is a damn fucking liar. Why is media a liar, Charlie? I have some ideas. I think I know, like, if we were prosecuting the case, a motive is a really important thing if you're going to send the jury out. But then there's also facts. And unfortunately, facts are something that the media gives not two shits about. They're like, "Oh, we got something to say. Here's a headline for you. Here's some clickbait. Here's some feed for the dum-dums that come scrolling across our screens every day, looking to be fed bullshit. Here's something for you and something for you and something for you."
Well, I mean,
what they're feeding is a bullshit.
Yeah, but isn't that ultimately the crime? Is that these people are lining up for a bullshit sandwich?
Charlie, no. Stop victim blaming. It's not because of how they were dressed.
But look,
they weren't in the wrong neighborhood. So take a Chappelle pill and just wait a minute. Okay?
Twitter is the wrong neighborhood. I refuse to. I will die on that cross.
We weren't asking for it. Don't be that guy. All right, Charlie? How dare you?
First and first, mostly how I am not saying that.
Media is the bad guy. Just last week, before I run out of time, we were talking about the clickbait story that was put across all the media streams. Again, mainstream, social media, dum-dums just texting each other sitting on the toilet. Yeah, I'm talking about me and Charlie. Media was a Twitter with the headline, "Superman comes out as bisexual."
Yeah, very misleading.
I had more conversations
Clark loves dick
setting people straight
than
when the fucking vaccine first came out. I was on my phone all damn day explaining to people who only read the headlines and didn't bother to read the actual article if there was one. A lot of times these were just like put out
Tweets,
there
yeah.
little fucking nuggets to get the algorithm represent. Oh, fucking Susie Lou Who is really on fire today. She's got 62 retweets. Guys, for the umpteenth time, specifically who they are referring to is Jonathan Kent, who in that particular continuity is the single son of Clark Kent / Kal-El and Lois Lane. Right? We're not talking about the TV Superman and Lois.
Yes, two sons.
John Kent, one of which is John. But that's not the one we're talking
Bisexuality
about.
to be determined.
Look, I mean, honestly, who cares? The main thing on that show is like, yeah, the kids are exhibiting powers, but neither one of them is Superman. Superman is still Clark Kent. That's not the point. We talked about that. We talked about that last week. But my point is this: that clickbait. I'm assuming that the people who put the story out took at least a second or two to determine, okay, well, there's everyone who knows even a little bit about comic books knows that there's more than one Superman. We spent episodes talking about fucking Michael B. Jordan as Superman. We were talking about like other iterations, TV Supermans and movie Supermans and blah 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 blah. We know that there are multiple versions. So which particular version are you talking about? Details become important. So I was already starting to desalinate, as Ellis so eloquently put, from last week's conversation before an entire new wave of media bullshit fucking crashed over me like I was 4 feet out at Loquillo Beach, where like it's 4 feet for like 3 miles, and then it drops off into the ocean.
I almost drowned. The story of his fucking life.
Was so strong. It took my bathing suit off of me.
Well, that's because you're a slut.
But naked.
That's because you're a slut.
Thank God my butt was hairy even back then, because I looked like I was wearing at least a hair Speedo. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is this.
What happened? What news was this even?
Charlie, it's clickbait. It is, I would venture to say, it's conjecture bait. They don't even care if what you end if you end up coming to a realization at the end of their stupid sentence headlines that is accurate. They don't care about that. So the one that really fucking caught me, the one that really caught me big time. Actually, there was two, but the one that really caught me was
you big time.
Superman is losing the American way from his motto.
Didn't he lose that
truth,
like 5 years ago?
And the American way. Wah, 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 wah. You fucking snowflake, mouth breathing, know nothing dummies. You cannot lose something that you never fucking really had. It truly, and this is real salt. This is not even for effect. Okay?
No, I know.
This is literally the same conversation that I had on multiple fronts about the term under God being maybe taken out of the national anthem. Now, you're referring to the term under God in the national anthem. Nobody is patriotic as me. We're fucking called U.S. Comics. Our colors are red, white, and blue. Never come to me and say you guys aren't patriotic. Fuck you, and the horse you rode on. That communist ass bullshit horse.
I mean, not to stop the salt flow. Just so everyone knows, not this patriotism where our logo resembles a flag. Made in the U.S. Made by people in the U.S. This isn't a fucking Taiwanese hat. We put our money where our mouth is, and we don't make money. We just fucking spend it so far.
Right, and I do like your liberal use of the word "we."
I will show Ellis. You know we were talking about the Pledge of Allegiance, but across all fucking fronts, man. Ellis has a couple good jokes about pink kryptonite. Motherfucker thinks he can just correct us.
Yeah, it's
Smack
a
him
good one.
around.
Right, yeah, exactly. I'm a little salty. It gets to the fucking head. Yeah, I'm talking about the Pledge of Allegiance, obviously. Thank you, Ellis. But that being said, much in the same way that the Pledge of Allegiance, which was written by a pastor, immediately after the Civil War ended, because obviously we knew during the events of the Civil War, like half of what is now our country said, you know what, peace, I'm out. It was like a divorce settlement. We're like, okay, you need to say this, that, and the other thing, and then we can go about our regular scheduled programming. So in order to do so, you literally need to read this fucking letter. That's where the pledge came from. So basically the people who were formerly rebels needed to like basically read a shit of like our bad. We really dig this stuff, and we're willing to say it publicly. And then everybody shook hands, and the blue and the gray, they were able to go back about their regular business. In much the same way that under God was then added to the fucking pledge right around World War II. Because World War II, a lot of people still don't know, and by people I mean us's, a lot of people still don't fucking realize there's a great majority of American citizens that wanted nothing to do with any participation in World War II. They thought about it as it was a European issue. That's their problem. We're not going to lose American lives over a European problem. And obviously, what happened, and we won't get into that because it's not history class, only a little bit. But under God was added to the pledge because they wanted it to look like not just a war against foreign aggressors or war against like a lifestyle, but like now we're going to make it a religious thing. So under God was added afterwards. And obviously, again, the debate still rages because we're in a different place now and blah, blah, blah. In very much the same way, Superman's, fucking catchphrase,
Truth, justice, American way.
Truth, justice, the American way, was not written that way. It was truth and justice. The American way was added right around, I don't know, World War II, because you had Superman in much the same way that Superman was like fucking selling cigarettes during our favorite Superman movie, flying through cigarette trucks and shit like that. Superman in the comics, they had fighting Nazis.
Lex, wait. Oh, this camel's smooth, baby.
Lois, you look damn dynamite. I'm gonna go fuck up this ball bastard. I'll see you later. So that being said, World War II.
That's why his boots are so high. He just tucked in packs of cigarettes.
Pulling up the red on these. We were drawing stereotypical, terrible images of Japanese and German and Italian.
It's fucked up.
Look, nobody said that the motherfuckers was perfect, especially not me. But the American way was added at that point. But would you know any of that unless you bother to watch or listen to this program? No. Would you know that by clicking on any one of the dozens of articles, quote unquote headlines or retweets, or even direct text messages that I got on that day? Because people know I'm all about the fucking S.
It's not what people want, though. I would argue that even the people that are reaching out to you via text message, they in my experience, it's people who already want to feel a certain way and want to double down on it. Because the shit I got on my end from it was like, oh, you must be stoked that your liberal gay Superman doesn't love America anymore.
Who texts you that?
Dummies.
Let me get their number and
I'll
their
send
addresses.
it your way.
I'm gonna pull a Robbie Pattinson and show up at their fucking doors. You stupid, small-minded.
It's pathetic.
Idiot, know nothing.
It is fucking pathetic because there is and I'll do the boring fucking thing.
We're used to it. Go ahead.
There's assholes everywhere.
Sure.
But the specific assholes that Superman doesn't love the American way anymore. That's geared for a specific type of stupid asshole. And that stupid asshole is the one that has to scream and yell that we're not proud to be American anymore. He's Kryptonian. That fucking
He is an American citizen. It's like I get that, but here's the thing: is Superman a fucking Is he like American Psycho,
real?
where does he have business cards made up? If you liked my fucking stopping the train from going to the ravine today, please let them know call this number, tell them how I'm driving. Like,
you can support Superman
where exactly
Patreon.com /
holy shit,
Superman's American Way.
It doesn't make any sense. This is like
people
righteous
are filling
indignation
hours
for nothing. But Charlie, you're once again, and this is going to be on your business card. I know, because I make them up.
It's true.
You're victim blaming. Charlie, those are the victims. Those people that text you, don't get mad at them.
So
Feel
hard.
sorry for them. They got snookered, right? They fell for it. They fucking like they got caught, bro. They got caught and fucking reeled in. They got click baited. Dum-dums. Yeah. And you know what? I have to admit this. This is part of my saltiness. Is that I'm so mad at you now, Charlie, because you're victim blaming, because I'm a victim. I'm a victim of clickbait fucking bullshit, because I came across the headline and I was like, oh no. This is bad news. Anyone who is not familiar knows that Charlie and I both are huge fans of Y: The Last Man.
Oh.
And we're super duper excited that it was getting the adaptation treatment.
Yeah, I love it.
And love it though you might. It has been canceled.
Purgatory, yeah.
No, it's been canceled. It's been canceled. If it ends up getting new life elsewhere, that's a different story, right?
COVID took the live action adaptation of Y from me. Bastards.
You're 100% right, but here's the thing. COVID was not the fucking big bad, was not wearing the black hat and twirling mustache in the articles that I came across. Oh. Right? They fucking played that like, I guess that this like apocalyptic fucking train is over. I guess women don't run the world. I guess we're not ready for this, because this show, which has got all about this, they went on to talk probably 3/4 of the blurb was explaining to people what the show was. And then the last little thing was, it's been canceled though. So where is a person to go mentally if you're going to do the math and connect the dots and be like fucking Charlie and have the red wire all over the map? Where are you to go except to think, I guess the viewership didn't support a show because, again, it's got big names, it's an expensive show. Wrong! That's not true. That's not true. And as Charlie buried the lead like a fucking body in the backyard when we didn't have any more lie, it's not your fault. I would never victim blame you. It was because of fucking COVID, because COVID drew out the process of post-production. It drew out it drew out the schedule of when it hit the air, and it drew out, most importantly and ultimately, what killed the show. And by killed the show, I just mean that the producer said, you know what? At this point, it's not, we can't justify just throwing this money out there. These particular producers, it was because contracts were expiring.
They're in essence at their like what would have been the season 3 like money level now.
Regardless, I mean, we don't have to get into the fucking the nitty-gritty details, but the bottom line is the reason why ultimately the show is not being continued to be produced at this particular juncture was simply because of money. They had contracts that needed to be renewed, and also, as well as, these are names that are involved. These are not like nobodies. This isn't a fucking Teen Titans bullshit TV show.
Whoa.
Sorry, Arrowverse. This is actual fucking big boy and girl actors, and they command big time money. So, for that being said, that monkey doesn't come cheap. That being said, that's what ultimately killed the thing. Now, meanwhile, we're busy explaining to people the difference between Jonathan Kent and Clark Kent. We're busy explaining to people the reason why the Last Man is not going to continue to be on the air when we talked it up so huge. We're fucking busy. We're busy explaining away clickbait bullshit media traps all over fucking town, and we miss the really important things, like, I don't know, a Marvel editor-in-chief who pretended to be Asian in order to get more of his work put out there. That's a story, dum-dums.
Yeah.
If you want fucking clicks, if you want eyeballs on your material, then do a little bit of work, be a professional, don't be a professional troll, and put some actual important stuff out there. My bottom last point is this, and then I will wrap it up. Salty,
Delicious.
the the bottom line is that we're not dumb. Okay, don't treat us. I realize that we're talking about 4-color funny books. I understand that, but in 2021, comic books are big business. And I would venture to say the reason why so many traps are laid out, and this was what kept me up relatively at night. The saltiness, the stuffy nose, the sickness, but also this fact. Comic books are big business. Literally billions of dollars of revenue come into studios, advertising dollars come in, producers. It's money, Charlie. So if American Gods wants to roll a fucking sequel, Neil Gaiman, I'm home. Knock on my door. I will offer you a tea. I'll offer you a cuppa. I'll offer you maybe a little water to wet your whistle. But we can sit down and we are going to write the sequel, and we're going to get the big bads right. It is media and it is money. The reason why comic book properties are front and center now with this clickbait media bullshit, media, you lying motherfucker, you, is because the dollar bills, y'all, are right behind the properties. That's why, if it wasn't big money, if we're still talking about quarter pulp page comic books, these headlines would not exist. Yeah, I realize the internet didn't exist and those comic books did at the same time. That's not my point. Don't try to make me look stupid. I'll kill you. It's because of the money, Charlie.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. So the victims are you and and you and me and our viewers and listeners, all the dumb open mouth fucking idiots like us. And we fall for it because that's what's out there. You're sitting on the pot, you're scrolling, you got to squeeze out the first one of the day. You got to read something, and I've already read the shampoo bottle. What else am I going to read in there? Come on.
The only
we're
thing
victims.
The only thing I want to add is there is a way to help yourself out. Specifically, I made fun of it a bunch so far. Obviously, you can call my dear brother, especially if you're a lovely lady. Call my brother. I'll give you his info.
Or man,
you have
whatever.
To send
it's good enough for you, man. It's good enough for me.
Fuck yeah. But what you could do is block those bullshit, clickbaity, intentionally misleading pages and sites. And what you slowly start to see, and I'm seeing it on my Twitter. When I log into Twitter, there's still occasionally bullshit that I have to block. But for the most part, when I heard that Why the Last Man story, it was because of Mark Bernardin, who used to do articles and shit. Now he does a podcast with Kevin Smith, and he is doing his own short film, and he writes comics, and he writes for TV. But he still will put up snippets of articles, but it'll be from sources where in the snippet is the details. Then you click it and you have something to read. So what you can do is you can
meat,
surround,
as it were, not the fucking,
you can surround yourself.
He's giving you the steak. He's not giving you the sizzle.
Correct. And you can surround yourself digitally and in real life with people who aren't going to try to intentionally mislead you, who don't just want the click. They want the click and to inform. The nice thing, though, about being salty, about being pissed, all of it has simple solutions. You could talk to my brother. You could tune in here. We're always going to give you more than just the tip.
Straight dope.
You know what I'm saying? But also, you can kick back and you can enjoy tunes. And one of the people I love to turn to in my times of need is one of my favorite bands of all time. And that, of course, is Bad Mary Band. You can find them on all social media. Bad Mary Band. You can support them financially over on patreon.com/Bad Mary. And my favorite part is they are available on every single music streaming service. And the difference between this ad and all those other ads on the other bullshit lying podcasts you listen to, I do genuinely listen to Bad Mary every single week. They are touring. They are doing shows. So check them out. Bad Mary Band on all social media, badmary.com.
Badmary.com is right, Susan. And I gotta tell you, I ran into a couple of Marys in my day, but none of them were quite so bad as the Bad Mary in question. Charlie, the Transition King, Channel 11 News will be lucky to have you. Also, as well as our other sponsor, the clickbaitiness motherfucker on the interwebs, Sergeant Finesse. And I say that because you can catch him every damn where. He's like the Clap. Catch him everywhere you go. You can catch him on Facebook Gaming. You can catch him on Twitch. Multiple streams every day. Outstanding gaming content. Supporter games. Yes. Co-streams. Giveaways. Damn straight. Contests. Why not? Not.
Oh, you're muted, John. I think your mic died. You know what's really awesome?
Fucking coming with the ruckus like that. Good looking out. Catch him.
Lost you again. I don't know what you're doing, so I'm going to enjoy some of my sneak energy. It is delicious. You can use code SGT at checkout. Salute the Sarge while drinking this drink. John, do the rest of the ad.
Charlie, I gotta tell you, dude, the understudy status, that star is gonna remain silver for now. You have yet to earn the gold. Yeah, but Charlie was right. Go ahead and the transition is this. Follow the White Rabbit over to sneakenergy.com. Use code SGT at checkout. But also, as well as, if you're looking for some fresh new gear, go ahead and check out geeksunleashed.com. Use code SARGE at checkout there. Why, Charlie? Because when the Sarge is on deck, you salute. GG's, motherfucker.
Damn, that got intense. I like that the salt fades away and it's just pure tequila from here on out. My dear brother, start my time.
Start.
I'm not going to run anywhere. That was pretty intense. I sit here on this beautiful 42nd episode of season 2, a humble man. I owe someone and some fans, I owe them an apology. Spider-Man fans, Peter, I'm sorry. Because I sat here and I put you on trial thinking you were the most overrated, overblown jackass of a superhero that has ever been ranked world's most favorite on those bullshit the questionnaires that come and go. When in fact, a person who constantly vies for first place with you, the Batman himself, is in fact the most overhyped, overblown, total jackass of a misfit character. That's right.
Strong words from a strong man.
Bum. I'm taking your ass to court, Bruce. And I suspect this time I have a judge who's going to wholeheartedly agree with me. For those of you who are watching the video version, Judge Joker has promised to be impartial in this beautiful trial of the Batman. Batman back, the talk of every nerd worldwide, with the brand new trailer for Bobby Pattinson's The Batman.
What's this Bobby Pattinson shit? Are you guys like drinking buddies now?
We're buddies. We talk about lesbian exes, and we high
Fucking
five about it.
Bella doesn't even call him fucking Bobby Pattinson. You got
Um,
some balls in this kid.
we use the same guy liner because I want beautiful eyes that pop like yours, and God didn't give me that. The trailer for the Batman dropped. We're gonna start there. Beautifully constructed trailer. Fuck yes, oh God, yes. Is this kind of the Penguin I didn't know I always needed? My boy Colin Farrell, unrecognizable as this take of the Penguin. Charming as fuck in the trailer. If you told me this was the Penguin version of the Joker movie, I'd be all in, telling fucking Rob Pattinson to calm the fuck down. I want, though, an unfiltered. You saw the trailer, I imagine, once, if not twice. What'd you think on the other side of the Batman trailer?
It's complicated, man.
Complicated? It's okay.
It's complicated for me because on one hand, I like Batman as a character. I wouldn't go so far as to say that I wouldn't go so far as to call him a superhero. He's not a superhero. He's not super shit. He's super rich. I'll give him that. But he and we've had this conversation before. A lot of times, the conversation comes down to like, are you an Elvis person? Are you a Beatles person? Are you a Superman person? Are you a Batman person? Like, for some reason, we're always having this Coke versus Pepsi taste test in life. So, as a Superman guy, a lot of times, if you're saying Pepsi versus Coke, you're like, I like Pepsi. Okay, why do you like Pepsi? Because Coke, stupid red can, and because Coke did this, and I spilled Coke one time in my desk at school, and I had ants for the whole year, and then people call me ants pants, and I fucking hated fourth grade. Like, the reason why you like something as opposed to something else turns into shitting on the other
why
thing.
you hate the other thing.
So, for many, many years, I got so used to shitting on Batman.
You treated Batman?
Yeah. I didn't have any problem with Batman, so to speak. I was shitting on Batman because I liked Superman better.
Batman's the Yankees is the problem.
That's exactly right.
People like him wrong.
Batman running around with the pinstripes and like the navy blue so dark that it looks black. Like, you're right. Batman is the Yankees. And fucking he wins. He wins even when the team isn't very good. Yeah. He still fucking wins.
Even when they're recycling their general manager, even though they stink.
Yeah, manager, you did a terrible job this season. His 3-year extension. Why the fuck not? We're the Yankees. If it don't work out, we'll just eat the money.
Don't let anyone have facial hair. Mustaches or nothing.
Super rich. Batman and the Yankees have a lot of parallels.
Yeah,
but that being said, that's all fucking... That's all preface for the fact that, like, I don't dislike Batman. Sorry, Judge Joker. I don't have any problem with Batman. If anything, I commend him because he's a normie.
He's a little bitch.
Running around with gods.
Yeah.
With superpowered beings all over the place. Fucking the worst junior member of the Teen Titans could fuck Batman up.
Beast Boy just eats this motherfucker.
But the preface is always like, well, with enough preparation, Batman can be... Yeah, with enough fucking preparation, anything is anything.
Yeah, that's the most comic book shit ever. Because comics is filled with people that are like, in 7 days, I'm going to burn your house down.
Yeah.
It's never like,
oh,
well, I'm
Matt Damon and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck had fucking had less time to prepare their beef against fucking Han Solo Jr. than fucking Batman did in any comic book where he throws down with a super. My ultimately, I walked away from that trailer thinking one thing. Why did you hire Colin Farrell, one of the handsomest fucking svelte, like sexy time, ladies love him actors in the game right now, and slap enough prosthetics on this fucking dude that he basically looks just like Richard Kind.
Bro, they hate
fucking
fatties.
dude,
They don't want to be around
he looks
fat people.
just like Richard Kind from fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm. Cousin Andy, he looks just like him.
They don't want to work with fatties on that set.
Holy
Hollywood
shit.
is anti-fat. That's my
This
theory.
summer, coming down from the North Pole, Brad Pitt is Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho.
I don't. Why did he become a sassy black detective lady?
That's just the way they're doing it. That's the way Hollywood wants it.
I don't know, bro. You might be catching some tweets about that one. But look, and this is to answer your question finally. The trailer
That's a little
was
bit of
fine.
that salt on the rim. It's not all cleared
little
off
residue salt. So, the trailer was fine, and I realized like, oh well, this isn't Batman Beginning. This is Batman in like year 2-ish,
middling.
Like, so more than anything, the trailer didn't give me anything new. Other than like, oh, it's a new Batman suit. Even when you have concurrent Batman movies with the same actor under the cowl, the suit changes a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Clooney had like fucking
nipples,
42 suits.
No nipples.
A little pocket for a credit card. Like, there are all these options that the Batsuit gets. So, yeah, we get a different Batsuit. Okay, but that happens with every movie.
Yeah, Batmobile.
And this is a different
like
Batmobiles. That's
car.
fine. Again, the Keaton Batman, for my money, is still the best Batmobile.
So cool.
But the general look of it didn't look any different. It could have easily been a Nolan.
How dare
Batman
you?
Flick.
This one has a red light.
Yeah. Oh, and the bat symbol changes a little bit. Like a lot of the things that seemed different were purely aesthetic, as far as I can tell. The only thing, and now this didn't have anything to do with the trailer. This is more of a talking point about like the production of the movie and the people involved. This is going to be ultimately what I think the Batman's best ability. This is what makes the Batman just a hero to a super, is his brain.
Yeah.
He's the world's greatest detective. We never see him detecting shit in any of the movies
all
thus
I
far.
fucking want is a little bit the animated series. Like,
dude, if he whipped out a fucking an Inspector Gadget, like a fucking
magnifying
big,
glass.
You see the black eye like real big.
He just takes it from Velma and the Scooby-Doo gang.
Like if he did one of these, like squeaky. Yeah, it was fucking. It's fucking mud guy. Let's go. I know where to go. Follow
mud
me.
guy.
Yeah.
So you liked it. If not, didn't learn dick from it because the trailer doesn't imply detective shit.
No,
I didn't see him. I didn't see him look closely at something.
If I knew nothing about the movie production,
like, oh, this
the
Batman's
movie
gonna punch people,
I would say Cousin Andy from Curb Your Enthusiasm is playing the Penguin, and also as well as I guess they still want to cut checks to Chris Nolan because he made another Batman movie because they all look the same.
Yeah,
to me.
Matt
Even
Reeves,
to a certain degree.
Everyone's excited about Matt Reeves. It looks like the same. Also, from our comment section,
it looks the same.
Ellis, who jumped over onto his Facebook account just to show off his bat cowl, is my suspicion. He does lots of detective work in The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Fucking when? That's the most lip service.
I'm gonna fight that, Ellis.
He got a bunch of magic cameras. Fuck off with that shit.
Yeah,
let me ask you a question, though.
I will say this, though, to Ellis's defense, and I realize Ellis isn't on trial along with Batman.
I disagree. He is on trial.
I would say that the Nolan movies do more with making a clear delineation between Bruce Wayne and Batman. But the Keaton Batman movies did that, too.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Here's
with Michelle Pfeiffer back then. Woo! I would have gotten nuts for days. Just kidding, for like 2-3 minutes.
I don't want to harp on this too much. When he does the ballistic tests on the bullets and pulls fingerprints from Selena, if a base ass cop on CSI Miami does it, it's not world greatest detective level, bro. Also, he had like a computer from someone else that did most of the ballistics work. So again, Judge Joker says you're full of shit.
Charlie kept that sassy cop. He's like, let me tell you something, Ellis. All right. Charlie had his hoop earrings. He went full J-Lo on Ellis. That was ugly. Mira, look, all right? He's the Batman, okay?
Listen, stupid.
The world's greatest detective. I don't think so, mija, okay? Don't make me throw my chancla at you, because I'll do it, okay?
Oh, this new character I want on every episode. Next time you're salty, that character I want.
All right.
So Gail Simone on Twitter, presumably after seeing the trailer, wrote something along the lines of certain Gail Simone, famous comic book writer, wrote some heroes like Superman and Batman should never kill. That's a fundamental of their character. And of course, people were like, fuck you, you can do whatever you want in storytelling. And you can, but you fucking shouldn't. Like, Joker shouldn't suddenly adopt a bunch of kids and be normal or a super fucking hero. It's dumb. And I hate it. Ellis, you're not helping your case. Alfred running a dossier on Bane isn't detective. It's getting your butler to do shit that's not in his job description. And as a person who does shit not in his job description all the time, it's bullshit. So it had me rewatch the trailer under a different lens. And you know what my favorite thing about Batman that the trailer does super, super well, to give credit where credit's due? It showcases how Batman's bulletproof, because that's awesome. I love that he's like a man of steel and that all the machine gun... Oh, is someone not hearing my dripping sarcasm? You in the same trailer, and I'm going to talk to you for a sec, Matt Reeves. You once again borrow the idea that Bruce, in year 2, his back is all scratched up and scarred. He is fucking wearing the greatest armor ever again. In Batman Returns, it took Selena Kyle half a second to be like, and armor, fucking wetsuit, stab, 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 with her little fingernails. This fucking asshole, Burt Pattinson, took about 80 rounds. No one even considered shooting him in the mouth. That moment alone, and I'm gonna see the movie because I'm an asshole. I suck. So I'm gonna see this movie.
Your Honor, if I can just set the record straight, I do take a little umbrage with counselor's presumption that an untrained, presumably, crime figure using an unregistered, presumably, firearm is going to have the wherewithal to shoot, presumably, a frightening figure that comes out of the darkness dressed up as a fucking bat in the mouth hole. I understand the concept.
All I'm saying,
but
John,
a lot of these, there's the same voices that like, oh, well, why didn't you shoot him in the knee? So says people who have never shot before.
That's
not easy.
That's not my point. I'm not implying they should be aiming for his mouth. What I'm fucking saying...
There's a very popular carnival game where like you have to shoot into the clown's mouth. I think that Charlie just invented a brand new DC
Let's do this.
Inspired where you shoot into Batman's little mouth.
You get to be the thug.
And then all the stuffed animals are only like the villains shit. Like,
well, people
fucking get,
love a bad
hammer.
guy.
They love
people
the bad
love
guy.
A bad guy.
You monster people. What is wrong with you?
So, but my point is
Black
this.
cat motherfucker.
My point is this, ultimately. You, in the same trailer, we see stupid scarred up back. We see him take like a handgun shot to those clown teenagers that I didn't see do anything. So for that trailer looks like he was watching them in the train and being like, I fucking hate face paint. Ah! He's so grumpy. Emo Batman. I did not expect you to be like,
the haircut, man.
I'm going to tase the shit out. Well, I'll get to Bruce in a second. But the notion that the handgun he like is taken aback by and his giant shoulder pads just looking like he's in Ghostbusters 2 with
he's
the
not
fucking
a big guy though, like so that you weren't gonna do a Dwayne Rocky Johnson with him and just fucking
just a body
give him a wetsuit. He's not a big guy.
But again, it's just a matter of what is Batman to people. And Ellis in the chat over on our Facebook chat went on kind of describing the elements of the Nolan movies that he thought were world's greatest detective shit.
Ellis, we can have Ellis on as
I would love as when the new movie comes out, we'll bring him on for not only that, but to argue this nonsense. Because again, I just want to see even like some 66 back computer question and answer shit. Everything about this trailer was like, oh, Batman's super strong. Is he?
No.
Like again, they in this universe that I presume isn't mixed up with everyone else. Batman's not a
That's also a question mark.
Yeah, true. But Batman has so many unique and cool aspects to him. For example, in the trailer, all the shit with the car, when Penguin's like, mah, 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 what a sucker bitch, you're fucked. And the Batmobile, a year 2 Batmobile that's like, it still kind of just looks like a car, but it's starting to get goofy, which it's a
muscle car.
I love, fucking Fast and Furious muscle car. I love that part of the trailer when it's like, bitch, fireproof. I love Selena looking all fucking badass, and she keeps her hair short because she rocks fucking lace front wigs, looking all good and shit. This idea even of a psychologically scarred Batman.
He's a crazy man.
Yeah, well, this interpretation I don't mind. I don't even mind the fact that he wears just as much guy liner as Bruce that he does as Batman. It is a 1-to-1 ratio of eye makeup, the dumb glasses. I don't mind any of that. My problem is when he's Batman, for all this talk of vengeance, and it's not just a light to summon me. It lets criminals know time to shit your pants because I'm the fucking Batman. You know why he does?
Did you like that or not? It's not really clear.
No, I genuinely like that, but
you like that part? Okay,
it's undercut by the fact that ultimately, scared or not, this Batman's whooping your ass. There's
Physically,
nothing. Yeah, he's just overpowering people, beating the shit out of Penguin. There's a scene where it looks like he's beating the shit out of I can't believe it's not Riddler. It's
Dude, I love Paul Dano. Like, one of the greatest failures of Hollywood has been obviously the sexual fucking deviances, never good. But just after that, it has been their criminal misuse of Paul Dano. Paul Dano is fucking awesome actor. And what a talent.
And I think this movie is going to be super enjoyable, but it's a disservice.
Why?
Why do I think it's going to be enjoyable? Well, I think it's going to look beautiful.
It's gonna look like a fucking Nolan Batman movie. Did you think the Nolan Batman movies were beautiful?
I did think they were.
From what you could see of it, they were dark as shit.
That's true. This one again at least has that red glow, so you see a little bit more. I think all the actors.
You want to talk about the dumb clickbaits out there?
Yes,
I read comment after comment after comment. I forget if it was DC Direct or who it was. They were putting out a Batman, like mini statue that was clearly, it was the exact same pose, and they were emulating the lighting from that first trailer, all the red lighting
looks
for the
cool.
Batman. It had like literal red on it. People are like, Batman doesn't have red on his costume. Yeah, he doesn't have black in his costume either, dumb. Do you really want to have a conversation? Or do you want to sit there pretending that you know this character?
Well, but
stupid idiots.
That's what it comes down to with these legacy characters. The same disservice they did to Superman this last go around in the Snyderverse, where the character was never really Superman.
Okay.
Right, with Man of Steel, I defended Man of Steel being like, well, they're gonna get to it. This is like the Superboy. He's figuring his shit out. Trust the process. I was punished.
They already made it Smallville.
I was punished for trusting the process.
Oh,
This Batman is just as much a disservice to who the character really is. So going all the way back to when I mentioned Gail Simone's tweet, being like, there are things that make characters. It is in their DNA. It is the fabric of them. I'm fine with a broken Batman mentally who's a fucking zombie as Bruce Wayne. I've seen Playboy Bruce Wayne. I don't know if anyone is gonna out Playboy what RDJ did in the Iron Man films. I think that performance and the arc he went on with that character, we've kind of
he was a sassy minx though.
I mean, that's
So
Marvel
like
for you.
the playboy aspect of it, like the womanizer aspect of it, it's interesting because obviously friends to the program and participants in the US Comics family, friend Jordan and friend Mike, they have their own podcast. Now, how about this? Where, and we've talked about it before. We've both guested on the show.
Two of the best episodes.
About, if you ask us, hell yeah. But they often will posit, what's your pitch? And like that's, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to Charlie's argument in front of the jury about Batman the character, but it's also a little bit of a beat up of the Batman, the version of Batman that we got in the trailer. So I'm just gonna ask you this for clarity: three things. I'm a fucking liar and I can't count. I told you my math sucked. Shut the fuck up. Don't make me bring my salt to you. Couple questions, Charlie. 3 questions. Ellis, you wait in line. Charlie, what did you think about the trailer? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Or were you nonplussed?
I liked the trailer.
You liked the trailer. Okay.
But can I add a qualifier?
All right.
I like the Nolan trilogy. I
like turtles.
It's not a Batman trilogy to me.
Well, I mean, Batman is in it. It's called Batman. There's
Not
bats all over the place.
Not my Batman.
Well, I didn't vote for him. All right, so let me ask you this question. Do you have a Batman story?
I do.
That you would want to see on the big screen?
I do. And it's
all
the
right,
one
hit us with it.
It's the one they all think. It's ironically, it's the thing that I believe truly in my heart that the studio thinks is the one that wouldn't work. When Batman first takes in Dick Grayson, it is a fundamental change in that character's life. Why are you thought I wasn't going to work Dick into this? Dick was coming for Bruce.
I knew that Charlie could not get enough Dick in his life and was trying to work some Dick into any conversation he could.
Instead of being a Batman year 1, my shit's the Robin
would be Robin year 1. Yeah, but that's not. But
the main character's not Robin. It's still about Batman's journey to be a better him. It's the story of him being a father to remedy the father issues.
As a producer, I would say that you can't have a movie showing the change. A movie I'm talking about. Now, if this was a TV series, an HBO series type situation, different topic of conversation. But in a movie where you have a 2-hour at best window of time to get your story across, how much of like, wow, this character's really changed, are you gonna get on a first introduction like that?
What do we always say about origin stories though for these movies?
Keep it short.
You can fucking keep it short. You could do it in the opening credits. You can go from
for Batman though.
Fuck yeah, you could have the brutal
Batfleck Batman montage that shows.
Fuck
that
yes.
A, he's a tortured soul. B, that he's potentially criminally insane. C, that he's a womanizer as Bruce Wayne. D, that womanizing facade is exactly that. He's not really Bruce Wayne. Like, that's one of the big differences between
Dick
Batman
Grayson is adopted at the 40-minute mark. I can accomplish all that and more in 40, bitch.
And then also you have to explain the Robin's training. I would say
because
the
movie isn't ultimately it's not Batman and Robin. It could be a whole build up.
It's Batman and Dick.
It's Batman and Dick.
That's a good working title. I know at least
Batman's
a dozen
Dick.
people.
Batman
I can
v.
refer
Dick.
to a dozen tickets that are gonna be bought by that shit. I would put out there something that's more attuned to um the tail end, right? That is kind of something that's more interesting to me because
Year
as an
20.
audience, well, as an audience, movie audiences of comic book properties often are not the comic book readers. You'll hear a lot of times, and probably listeners and viewers of this show will fall into that category. I read comic books, read in the past tense. So having read a dozen comic books in your life doesn't really make you a comic book reader. Showing up at your shop on fucking Wednesdays, having a pull list that's as big as your Schwartz, that makes you a comic book reader. Having fucking digital recommendations pop up on your iPad at 3 in the morning, you're like, yeah, okay, I'll buy it for $2. That's what makes you a comic book reader. If you're a comic book aficionado, which I make very clear distinction, clearly this is the place for you because we take deep dives into this material. We take that shit, which is goofy, four-color, goofy, stupid shit. We take a serious, like serious as a heart attack level look at it, but that's also where the fun is, right? Comic books ultimately are about one thing. One thing only.
Entertainment.
Not even getting your money. No, I'm just kidding. Comic books are built on the structure of power, giving power to the powerless. Comic books were intended originally, obviously not now because we're full grown men. Comic books are intended for children. Children don't have power. Children get told by their parents, go to sleep, eat your vegetables, brush your teeth, shut up. Children are told by their teachers, sit down, do your homework, study, eat some broccoli, shut the fuck up. We're told by all these authorities, by the way, I just made myself a child, told by all these authority figures that they're told what to do. And as kids, singular thought runs through their goofy little merging minds. If I had the power, I would do this, fill in the blank. So comic books do exactly that same thing. It gives them that imagination. Oh shit, if I had the power of a parent, that's one thing. But if I had the power of Batman, if I had the power of Captain America, if I had the power of Superman, if I had the power of Wonder Woman, then oh shit, now game is on. That really opens up the fucking mind.
Yeah.
But with a Batman character, there's so much exposition there, so much to unpack that it's unfortunate that theater goers now think, I know Batman. Yeah, of course. Yeah, the parents died, fucking afraid of bats. Now he dresses up like a bat. He hates clowns. Yeah, sure, I know. He hates Pennywise. I know Batman, of course. They don't really know Batman, Charlie. This is my point. Theater goers, movie watchers, listeners to US Comics Cast, they don't really know comic book Batman. They know movie Batman. And those are two different dudes. They're as different as Bruce Wayne and Batman are different.
And as my brother so beautifully put it, ultimately, this is my point. Is I love that Ellis loves the Nolan Batman trilogy.
Sure, I love
him. Ellis brought up two brilliant points in the chat. He said, one, comics kind of suck now. Right? He's waiting for US Comics to drop some fire. So I like that last part especially.
Sure.
And he said that for him, the Nolan Batman films are his definitive Batman. My point, by way of Gail Simone, by way of watching this trailer a few times and realizing, despite liking it, also a little bit hating it, is they're doing a disservice to one of the best characters ever by adding like walks through a fucking sea of bullets. Not understanding these characters and why they've been loved for nearing 100 fucking years hurts the cinema goer, because Matt Reeves has probably constructed a wonderful movie about
Very
a
talented creator.
vigilante who loves his fucking eyeliner. But the guy I'm seeing in that trailer, and I hope I'm wrong, isn't the guy I love in comics. I love Batman. The real Batman. And to double down, I got a taste of my Batman for years in the animated series.
Oh, yeah.
That version of Batman, someone plucked from my fucking mind.
Well, the Batman, the animated series Batman, for a lot of people who aren't adamant, who aren't like every fucking week comic book readers, that's their definitive Batman. So one could argue effectively, we have yet to see, just to put it in those terms, we have yet to see a live action version of the Batman that we got with the Batman animated series from the 90s. I think that's more than fair.
And I think it's a sin, because if I think if either the right person got in their ear, if the right person had the right notes, I think and I truly do believe this, I don't think it's happened yet, and I don't think that these movies are bad or shouldn't exist, but I do believe one day we're going to get, finally, the real Batman on that silver screen in live action. I
know when that's gonna be. Just for a little a little spoiler, little teaser action. It's gonna be when they let comic book writers into the room. Because right now, what's happening is you're getting Hollywood types, Hollywood players, taking hacks at this material. I love Batman. I love this. Yeah, you can love him all you want, but that doesn't mean that you have a true working knowledge. Or even if you do, like you would fucking run the category of Batman in Jeopardy. Double Jeopardy even. Shit. Doesn't matter who's host. You gotta admit, you're a jack of all trades. You know a lot about a lot, but you're a master of none. You're definitely not a master of Batman. So if you let a comic book writer into that conversation, and it's even a situation where it's written by X and Z, you are going to get a more true to the character version, a true to the comic book character version than anything we've ever gotten. And the real sin is this, and I'll wrap it up with this. And Charlie, you can take us home. I don't think there's any debate that what we've gotten in the movie versions are just 2-hour, somewhat 2D versions of these characters. That's the limitation that you have with time and with content and that trying to please the masses, as it were, right? I would say this. If you took a deeper dive into these characters, ultimately what you're going to get is a better, richer 3D, even 4D version. And how is that not going to please more fucking people? People are going to walk away saying, I can't believe that was a comic book movie. You hear that shit all the time. All the time. When these movies come out, and they're not based on very, very well-known comic book properties, people just saying that was a great movie. They're not saying that was a great comic book movie. There's no qualifier there. You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
that's ultimately the biggest point. A good movie is a good movie. A good comic book movie is something somewhat less. So let's go ahead and lose those tack-on sentences and go for something a little richer because the content is out there. That's really
and the to finish us off again. It's very very important. It's very, very important that everyone love your Batman, love your interpretations, love your movies, love this, love that. But when we talk about real Batman, the mythical of real Batman is the one that is truest to what brought it to the game. Again, it's people like Gail Simone who said that there are certain aspects of characters that are absolutes. It's what makes them them. It's not up for debate. And I would argue, John, your point of great comic book movies that are just great films, the way that we've approached it so far is by taking aspects away from these characters. It's doing films like The Joker, which is a movie ultimately not the fuck about the Joker. You know who the Joker is. You can see him when you close your goddamn eyes. The same thing is true of the Batman, the Superman, Aquaman, Flash, all of them. And I pray for the day when we get everything we deserve from these characters. For my brother, the formerly saltiest man in the room, but I think I took that salt shaker away. He is the CEO.
Couldn't let me have anything. This second child motherfucker.
He is the CEO. He is the co-founder. He is the smoothest pimp you'll ever fucking know. I am the COO, and an extra O for being just so glorious. We are, of course, US Comics Cast. But my dear brother, there is only one way that we end each and every episode of US Comics Cast. Now that I'm all worked up, why don't you tell the lovely people how we do the things we do?
I feel so bad for your dog.
Goddamn,
when you come walking in the
triple
door.
overtime.
Woof, my goof. Oh. Turn the power. Oh on. Turn the volume. Oh. Gotta tune Bad Mary in. Open up the window wide and scream out into the night sky. Save me, Space Girl. We out.
End of the world. We know that it's love at first sight. Forget the world around. Want nothing but to hold you tight as it all comes down. Don't wanna let go because we know this is the last night and the first time that I met you. We have tonight. We have no past. We have no future. But I can tell you that I love you till the end of the world. Cool night and we're out on our own. Had to get away. Warm heart, but I'm chilled to the bone. Never see the day.